we've read the Iliad and the Odyssey. So Homer becomes the basis for Greek civilization, meaning that all educated Greeks, they memorize the Iliad and the Odyssey. People don't read and write now at this point. They speak and they listen in front of an audience. And so Homer becomes basically the infrastructure of their mental worldview. And this leads to the greatest civilization in human history. But eventually, the Romans will conquer the Greeks. The Romans will conquer the entire Mediterranean, and they will create the Roman Empire. The Romans are nothing like the Greeks. The Greeks are very open, very curious. They believe in the idea of arete, and eudaimonia. Arete means excellence, to be the best at what you can. Eudaimonia means flourishing. You can only achieve human happiness if you achieve your arete, okay? You become your arete. So think of Odysseus, who was a great speaker. That is his arete. And he uses his speech in order to fulfill his destiny and to save his family, okay? And that achieves eudaimonia. The Romans are very different. The Romans believe in the idea of piety. Okay, and piety just means obedience to your fathers, to history, and to tradition. And so the Romans are an extremely conservative people, but they're very good at fighting wars, and that's why they become the empire. But after the empire is established, what the Romans recognize is that Greek culture is vastly superior, and many well-educated Romans begin to drift towards Greek culture, which in the Roman perspective leads to the corruption of the Roman soul. And so Augustus Caesar, who is really considered the first emperor of Rome, he recognizes that in the long term, even though the Romans have conquered the Greeks physically, spiritually, the Greeks will conquer the Romans. And the main issue is Homer. So his solution is to destroy Homer. You can't burn books because there aren't that many books, and also people have memorized Homer. So you need to corrupt Homer. And the solution that he devises is called the Iliad. And we can consider the Iliad as the anti-Homer, okay, or the inversion of Homer, taking the ideas of Homer and inverting them. Okay? So this becomes the Bible of the Roman Empire, meaning that if you're a schoolboy, you have to memorize the Iliad. And this is the main way that you learn Latin, the official language of the Roman Empire. And so whereas Homer will give us Greek civilization and the birth of Western civilization, the Iliad will create the Dark Ages, about 1,000 years when Western creativity ends. And then someone will emerge who will recognize the evil that is the Iliad. And he will create an antidote to the poison that is the Iliad. And this person, of course, is called Dante. Okay? And so what we'll do is we will read the Iliad for the next 2 weeks and understand how it poisons and corrupts Homer. And then this will lead us to the Divine Comedy, which is really the liberation of the human soul from the poison that is the Iliad. Okay? All right. So some basic background about the Iliad. So the Iliad, what it does is it replicates both the Odyssey and the Iliad. The Iliad is 12.